look out, because we're coming at ya. So get everyone on board, because we are spinning out of control. We're feeding you the funny. And guarantee you'll fall down laughing. As we get ready to kick off some of life's funniest moments. We've got a kid climbing a wall, a guy chasing a ball, and a fish with a lot of gall. A poodle looking for a goal, and a bad dive takes a toll. So grab yourself a seat, any seat, just pick one, and get ready for life's funniest moments. They say practice makes perfect, so you could say these people are sweet perfection. Perfection, perfection. Practice pays off for this diver as he hits an absolute perfect belly flop. He meant to do that. Oh, and now he has a perfect pink belly. Flying disc golf can be just as challenging as regular golf. The upside is that you can actually play a dog leg with an actual dog. But as you design your flying disc course, it's always a good idea to let someone know when they're the third hole. 4!
Ow!
Dad has been helping Jimmy practice a swing all day long. Now it's time to teach Jimmy how to take one for the team. Being hit by a pitch is as good as hitting a pitch. Either way, you get to go to first base. You may not want to practice this one a whole lot, though. You gotta leave time to heal. You can tell John has been practicing his football skills a lot lately. Well, now he needs to work on the whole watch where you're going thing. Corey's been practicing every day for months, and now he thinks he's finally ready to enter a tournament.
Every 2 years. Yeah, pretty good. Oh!
Ooh, maybe a little more practicing is in order.
I'll play with me down there.
Dutch here knows that jumping rope is the best way to practice for any sport. Plus, you get to rhyme while you do it. Cinderella, dressed in yellow, went to the dog park to meet a fella. It really isn't necessary to have deadly accuracy when shot putting. Which is too bad, because this guy is good. Wow, every time. All the practice in the world can't help someone with their sportsmanship. Look at Bobby on the right. He is a fierce competitor and can't stand coming in second place. But the mark of a true champion is being able to lose gracefully. Like Bobby here. Oh, you think this is bad? Well, you should have seen the way he used to behave when he was losing. Sports is a young man's game, but there is something to be said for experience. Just take 75-year-old Wake Wilson, for instance. If his 65 years on a boogie board has taught him anything, it's how to fall correctly. A less experienced boogie boarder may have been hurt. Take a bow, Wake. Old man Terwilliger has been practicing for months and bragging for weeks. Here it is, sweet perfection. And the crowd goes mild. Sometimes practice isn't enough. You also need to be prepared.
You should be wearing a helmet.
I should be wearing a helmet.
Now someone can practice putting on a bandage. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you get some of life's funniest moments. Anyone can pull in a 45-pound salmon, or a 75-pound swordfish, or a Pacific Coast bonita, or maybe a bluetail. But it is the true sportsman who can reel in a piece of lumber with nothing more than a rod or reel in his wits. That little beauty is going to win Rupert the Paul Bunyan Fisherman Award for the 3rd year running. Isn't she a beaut? She'll make a handsome axe handle. We've all heard of the one that got away. Well, here's the one that came to stay. It was bad enough that Amelia hadn't had a bite all day. But when the fish came ashore to openly mock her, she started thinking about hanging up her pole. Steve loved waving to the folks. It was good exercise, and anything that kept him out of school was good for him. It should be the first rule of ice fishing, yet it's seldom followed. Sure, it's okay to pose for a picture, and it is even okay to brag a little. But the thing you should always do is...
This is going to be the winner!
cover the hole. The first round pick in the hilarity draft goes to you, and you get to choose from these future draft picks. They say basketball is a big man's game, but don't tell that to little Floyd Slick Nichols. He'll out-quick you and out-shoot you and do both while he's staring at your knees. Sweet. Sure, he's great in practice, but what about when the chips are really on the line? Yep, Floyd's got game and the pro scouts are already trying to sign him. But he promised his parents he wouldn't turn pro yet. He wants to wait until he finishes kindergarten. You've heard of the golden retriever? Well, meet a golden receiver. This Boston Terrier will not only catch every pass you throw his way, but he'll also perfectly execute the flea flicker every time. He's approaching the branch. Be ready for his signature triple Lutz spinning dismount and... oh my goodness, we've had a malfunction. He's okay, everybody, he's okay. He'll nail it next time. If football is football in America and soccer is football in Europe, we can all agree on one thing. This dog is playing football. When scouting for draft picks, you are looking for athleticism. You're looking for instinct. You're looking for intelligence. Sometimes you settle for 2 out of the 3. It may not have been the shot heard round the world, but it certainly was the shot heard round the Hartford Community Center. Coming up, a tale of 2 fists. And a kid with yummy and tasty wrists. When we return with more of life's funniest moments. Welcome back to Life's Funniest Moments. The very best athletes make sure all of their nutritional needs are met with a steady diet of laughs. In the last decade, professional eating has become a popular sport. Mikey dreams of the day he'll be up on their platform, pounding down the food like his idols. But he's gonna have to get a lot faster. The eating of your arm routine scores points for flash, but it's way too slow to make you competitive. Jenny Jacobs grew up around the grape. She was born and raised in the valleys of Northern California, where her family ran the Jacobs Marley Vineyard that her great-great-great-grandfather purchased in the early 1800s. The rows of green, purple, and red fruit were her playground, and she was even a model for the little girl used on the Jacobs Marley raisin box. All that being said, if you ever visit Jenny and she offers you a taste of her homemade wine, keep this visual in your head. This is how she makes it. Kinda makes you wish she had used her feet, doesn't it? Open the hangar, here comes the airplane. Open up the garage, here comes the car. Open up the tunnel, here comes the train. Open up the port, here comes the boat. Someday, this kid might just grow up to be the Secretary of Transportation. Athletes, suit up. Spectators, snack up. It's game time. After a long, productive career as a nose tackle in the pros, Bubba retired to the quiet life of a referee. But every now and then, he can't help but get back into the action. Unfortunately, getting knocked around in a high school pileup does nothing for your pension. In volleyball, there is the set, the spike, and of course, the bump. Let's see that again. Game, set, ouch. Just as in the wild, the bears and the lions seem to be sure-footed and confident. Yet the zebra can't quite get his footing and consistently falls down. This should prove it once and for all. When it comes to game time, 4 legs are better than 2. Half the crowd is rooting for the guy with the white pants, the other half is rooting for the guy in the black pants. Sometimes everyone is a winner, or a loser, depends on how you look at it. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. He dives to the 5. There is a lot to be said for skill. Adept ball handling and crisp passing can always lead to a well-executed shot. But at the same time, a lot can be said for flat-out dumb luck. All in all, I'd rather be lucky than good. Jimmy's mom wouldn't let him try out for the team because she felt it was too dangerous. But the mascot, she said, the mascot never gets injured. Thanks, Mom. Okay, the way the coach set it up, Simpkins was to fall out of bounds while using his left hand to flip the ball through the basket. He used his right hand, not the way the coach drew it up, but I guess, you know, a basket is a basket. The most popular sports can be played with balls, but life's funniest sports are the ones with wheels. Man, there is nothing more exciting than being up close, down and dirty for an honest-to-goodness motocross race. You can smell the exhaust and feel the dirt on your skin. Hey, those are some amazing seats. Why isn't anyone sitting there? Oh, that's why. Nothing ruins a family outing like a carburetor in your lap. A lot of people think getting up the hill is the hardest part. It's not. But you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Or not. The kids told Dad the best way to learn to rollerblade was to wear shorts, bring the dog, find a steep sidewalk, preferably close to a large body of water, and, oh yeah, make sure to have it videotaped. Maybe the kids planned this a little better than we thought. You've heard the expression that if life gives you lemons, you should make lemonade. Well, if your wheel won't work, you should make it into an elliptical trainer. These guys are flipping over the way they turned their frown upside down. It's only a matter of months before you see these guys on a late-night infomercial hawking their invention. When does a driving test become a workout? When your pulse rate skyrockets because your motorcycle goes bananas. He aced the driving part, but he did so poorly at parking that they have to try again another day. Coming up, a kid scales to new heights. And an Arctic tour group sees the sights. When we return with more of life's funniest moments. Welcome back to Life's Funniest Moments. Hey, trivia buffs, here's a little-known fact. These are some little-known sports records. The record for the most M&Ms flipped into your mouth by a big toe is... one. Not only can he break his own record, but no one else on the planet even wants to. His place in history is assured. This guy isn't breaking a record. He just wanted to see what it would be like to be a record. So he trained his dog to spin his chair at 33 1/3 RPMs. Spin him the other way and you'll hear a secret message.
Come on, Jim, hurry up! Come on, Jim, hurry up!
These people are setting the record for the coldest, loneliest, and oddest sport. But they'll have a long way to go to beat ice karate. The record for vertical climbing a doorway is held by our friend Keith here. Some see a door frame and ask why. Keith sees a door frame and asks, why not? Why did he climb it? Because it's there. Chuckles is breaking the record for the longest flight without actually getting anywhere. Were it not for that cage, he'd be in Bermuda by now. These guys are actually setting 2 records. Dizziest cat and cleanest floor. The record for kicking yourself in the head indoors is held by this guy.
get somewhere at the party. Missed it somewhere.
Coincidentally, the record for the longest headache is also held by this guy. Who knew?
Sorry, can be better.
Gerald wants to break the record for most air hockey victories, so he trains with that metal cone on a non-aerodynamically designed surface. That way, when he plays with a light as a feather air hockey puck, he'll totally dominate. Coming up, chairs everywhere, and not a place to sit. When we return with more of life's funniest moments. Welcome back to Life's Funniest Moments.
Lawn chair juggling, take one.
In life, some people are athletes and some people are the halftime show. Let's just say Dan here is used to performing with the band.